Beauty in the world of nature is a harmonious combination between the living world and the surrounding rocks. Why are the mountains standing so firm and majestic? They are made up of formations of strong, solid rocks. These rocks can be divided into three main groups: igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic rocks. The process of rock formation is explained in the following diagram. Deep inside the earth, we have molten rocks called magma. Because magma is less dense than the surrounding rocks, it rises to the surface. As it moves upwards, its pressure and temperature falls, causing it to crystallize, forming igneous rocks. Then, in the course of time, as the surface of the earth is slowly eroded, the igneous rocks are finally exposed. The main range of Peninsular Malaysia, stretching through the states of Kedah, Perak, Selangor, Pahang and Negeri Sembilan, is made up of igneous rocks. These rocks consist of crystalline magmatic minerals. The mineral composition of these igneous rocks is seen clearly in this section. Three main minerals in this rock are feldspar, mica, and quartz. A thin section of 0.03 millimeter thick is made from this rock. Geologists use such thin sections to identify the minerals and the rocks. Through a special microscope, optical properties of these minerals and rocks can be observed. Under certain conditions, the magma extrudes and flows on the surface of the earth. Such magma with temperature of about 700 degrees Celsius is called lava. It cools rapidly under surface conditions, forming a hard, fine-grained rock known as basalt, with crystal sizes hardly visible to the naked eye. For example, this rock which was found in Segamat, Johor, is basalt. It is an important building material in construction works and in the laying of roads. rocks found on the beach of Pantai Batu Hitam, Pahang, is also formed from lava flow that took place about 2 million years ago. This diagram illustrates the formation of a volcano. The repetitive action of lava flow, venting to the Earth's surface over a long period of time, eventually leads to the formation of a volcano. Deep in the Earth, a hot molten magma may penetrate a colder rock mass through weak planes or fractures, cools down, and solidifies into a rock. This newly formed rock is usually more resistant than its surrounding rocks. Over a period of time, the overlying rocks are eroded and the newly formed rock is exposed. This rock is called a dike. The black rock, cutting across the light-colored granite texture, is formed by the rapid cooling of the magma. Its size and shape vary according to the nature of the original fracture in the rocks and the quantity of the magmatic quest. Here in Teluk Cempedak, Pahang, the dike cutting the granitic rock has a composition of a dolerite. In Mount Kinabalu, many dikes have been observed cutting across granodiorite rocks. This dike with a white color and a fine-grained texture is known as apatite. Rain disintegrates soil and dislodges particles from the rocks. Water from the mountains carries the sediments downstream. In this mountain stream, we can see how the sand particles are being slowly dragged downstream. When water current slows down, the sand particles are deposited. Fine sediments, such as mud and silt, are carried in the form of suspension in water. These materials are transported to the river mouth and deposited on the sea floor, and later they form the sedimentary rocks. Water in the river mouth contains high amount of sedimentary particles. Observe how these sediments settle when the water is left to stand. This is how sedimentary rocks form on the seabed. Water not only erodes the rocks, but also transports the sediments. Water, in the form of waves, deposits sediments along the coast. This beautiful beach is formed by deposition of sediments by wave action. Waves are also an active agent of erosion. Coastal sediments are laid on the beach in the form of layers called beds. Observe this unconsolidated sediment on the beach. It is found in horizontal layers or beds. The observed bedding can be due to the variation of color or size of the sand grains. This represents the early stage in the formation of sedimentary rocks, on the beach or on the sea floor. Here in Pulau Ula, Langkawi, we can observe a sequence of sedimentary rocks. Its bedding structure is very clear, and the horizontal nature of these beds represents the early stage of development. Deep in the crust of the earth, there are compressional forces that are capable of causing these horizontal beds to be inclined. Under certain circumstances, these beds are not only inclined, but are also folded into various forms. Sometimes the sedimentary deposits on the beach consists of coarse particles, like pebbles and boulders. Sand-sized particles form a sandstone. Coarser particles form a sedimentary rock known as conglomerate. In Bukit Kluang, Terengganu, the hill is made up of conglomerate. A close look shows that it consists of pebbles and boulders. From the observation, we can classify sedimentary rocks into various types according to their particle size and composition. This is gypsum. It is a sedimentary rock consisting of calcium sulfate and is formed by evaporation of the sea. Coal is formed from plant remains. On these sedimentary deposits, we usually find thriving communities of organisms. Some of these organisms have strong, hard parts that remain buried in the sediments even after they die. On this beach, we have a collection of seashells, and in certain areas, the whole beach is made up of these shells. Here in Singkir Laut, in northern part of Kedah, we have a heap of sediment composed of seashells. Animal remains buried in the sediments are normally preserved. They are found in the sedimentary rocks and are known as fossils. In Hutan Aji Perlis, fossilized shells have been found in the sedimentary rocks that were formed over 200 million years ago. We can find many different types of animal remains in the sediments. Besides animal fossils, plant fossils are also found. This is a fossil of a trilobite, an extinct fauna that existed over 500 million years ago. Another main group of rocks, which is normally formed from sedimentary rock, is the metamorphic rock. When an igneous rock extrudes, the surrounding sedimentary rocks are compressed and subjected to high temperature. Pressure causes the sedimentary rocks to be squeezed and folded. Temperature around the contact zone may exceed 700 degrees Celsius, and this high temperature, together with confining pressure, cause rearrangement of the rock-forming minerals. Some new minerals may even be formed. The net result is a different rock type called metamorphic rock. Metamorphic rocks subjected to very high temperature and pressure could melt and turn into a magma, forming the igneous rock. A characteristic feature of the metamorphic rock is the linear arrangement of its minerals. Such texture is known as foliation. Under a microscope, it is observed that the foliation texture is caused by a certain arrangement of clear, light-colored minerals, such as quartz, against dark-colored minerals, such as mica. We can get a picture of how metamorphic rocks are being formed by observing the process of brick making in a factory. Soft clay obtained from a clay-rich area is homogenized, molded into blocks and cut into the shape of the required bricks. These clay blocks are then burned in a brick kiln. Finally, we have a hard, strong brick, which differs from the originally soft clay. This brick-making process is similar to the metamorphic rock formation, taking place deep inside the earth. In Malaysia, most sedimentary rocks are more than 200 million years old. Due to the intrusion of igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks have been subjected to various degrees of metamorphism. Metamorphic rock in Tanjung Jara is called phyllite. In Taman Melawati, Selangor, its metamorphic grade is much higher, and the rock is known as schist. In this quarry at Bukit Kemahang, Kelantan, we have the formation of a high-grade metamorphic rock from igneous rock. The segregated arrangement of light-colored minerals from the dark minerals is clearly seen. At Pulau Dayang Bunting, Langkawi, We have marble, a metamorphic rock formed from limestone. No foliation is observed in this metamorphic rock, since marble contains only one type of mineral. Besides being able to recognize a rock, it is also good to know its uses. Due to its inherent properties such as strength, durability, and beauty, rocks have, over a long time, been used as an important natural material in the construction industry. Polished slabs of rock have become popular and fashionable as facing stones on walls and floors. They have also been made into beautiful souvenirs and mementos. Minerals such as diamonds, sapphire, ruby, and others are valued for their beauty and outstanding hardness. Gem quality stones are now an ideal object of decoration and art. They're also a symbol of strength and dignity of a nation and its people.